Welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing something slightly different than what I usually used to do because I haven't uploaded in forever. I am so sorry guys, I am so sorry guys, I have no excuse. I have said this so many times, but I will try to do more, but sometimes I run out of like creative ideas and I don't want to follow what everyone else is doing all the time because then I feel like I'm copying out. But yeah. It's been like 4 months since I last uploaded. To be fair, I have travelled 3 different countries in this time, so I haven't anything still that close to you, so I know it's close to you. So I will try to be better. But yeah, it's November and Christmas is in like just a week. I'm so excited. But if you guys didn't know, November is Black History Month, and obviously I am black. A lot of you guys in the comments in other videos have asked where I'm actually originally from, and the answer is Sudan. More specifically, I am South Sudanese. I grew up in Sudan from the ages of like birth to about just before I was 7 this year. It was in April 2000 something. But yeah. So today I am going to talking about my Black history culture, South Sudanese culture, and its history that I was not actually fully aware of. Like, I know some things, but I grew up in Sudan, in Khartoum, which is like in North Sudan now, but we're nationally South Sudanese. But I've only actually been there like a year max, and I was like several different months like here and there, but so I don't know the most about that, so I did some research so that I'm not sitting just talking a lot of shite, so that you guys can be informed. And it was so much fun learning more about my history and my past. So I am going to impart that on to you guys. Now before we continue on with this video, this might be a little bit longer than what I normally do. So if you're not for that, I'm sorry, but I hope you guys stay and watch, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and just hit that subscribe button down there and then drop a like and a comment. And yeah, so without any further ado, let's get on with this video. I have a cold, by the way, so if my voice like cracks and crinkles and whatever during this, I apologize. I can't really help it at this point in time. And if my eyebrows are annoying you, I know they're uneven, but eyebrows are not meant to be sisters. They're not meant to be twins, they are sisters, okay? Just saying. Anyway, so I have like all my little notes and stuff from like when I was researching. It was so much fun. So as I said before, I am from Sudan, South Sudan, but South Sudan only gained their independence in July in 2011. And before that, we were part of Sudan, and there was 2 civil wars before we got our independence. But I'm gonna like go further back from the actual beginning. So like until about 1500s, South Sudan was mostly controlled by Central Sudanese like languages and tribes, and there's several tribes in Sudan. And my mom is from a Bari speaking tribe called Pugulu. I can't pronounce half these things, by the way, so I apologize if you are also from Sudan and I offend you with my pronunciation, because I am utterly shite at pronunciation. So it was mostly controlled by Central Sudanese languages and tribes, like, and some of them still exist now, like the Mari and the Maro. But like nowadays there's like groups such as Dinka, Sholo, and like Loud that mostly took over. And before we like go on to the tribes and what they do and how everything occurred, Sudan was like cut into like, no, it was broken off into like 3 different like regions. So there was like the, what is it, Barakhalais, oh my god, I am so sorry. Right, let me try like just how you pronounce this. Central Equatoria, Aparil, and Baharalaza. There we go. I have to like write it out. I'll like put the like high spelling over here so you understand why I'm struggling to pronounce them and remember some of them. But so the tribe Sholo were based on like, each tribe has things that they were known for, and Sholo was more known for their like cattle raising and like cereal farming and fishing because they were really close to the River Nile. And if you guys don't know where Sudan is, it's basically the country that joins, it's on like Egypt's on the other side of the River Nile. And I did not know this until like I recently asked my parents, and like I looked up like where we used to stay, and I lived like, when I was in Sudan, I lived really close to the River Nile. Like we used to be like, I remember one time my aunts took me for a half-hour walk, by the way, and I was like, what, 9 to the River Nile. It was great. But anyway, back to the subject. I like deviate so much, I am so sorry. So Sholo were known for their cattle raising and the cereal farming and fishing, and like they used their cattle as a way for like cultural. So like if there were dowry for marriages, rituals and things like that, then Dinka was known for like their traditional like farming of like sheep herding, and like they moved their sheep from one place to another place and whatnot, and just like agriculture in general. And they were really like secluded further up and like safe for most of the stuff that was going to happen. So after that, the Azanda people entered southern Sudan in the 16th century, and they established the largest regional state in southern Sudan. And they were like founding countries of the Western Equatorian and Bahar al-Ghazal. I pronounced this 3 times different ways. I'm aware. It's okay. But in the 15th century, Avangara entered and imposed authority, basically invaded Avande, and like they remained unchallenged in their authority until the British came, and that's when all this shit happened. I'm warning you now, so if you're gonna get offended really easily, leave. So when the Avangara invaded the Avande, they also brought with them Islam. So geographically, the Lanki was protected from the southern stuff because of where they're going. So like from the further up, the southern were protected from Islam, but the Sholo and the Bari people were not, because they were so further up and they're close to Egypt, because Egypt is very much Muslim based. Like they're a very Muslim-like country, while South Sudan is known to be, it's majority Catholics and like Christians. Like, I'm Catholic, hell hard. But because Sholo and Bari, they're all further up, they had a lot of neighbouring fights with the Islam that tried to impose Islam on them. And that's actually the main reason of this main civil, like the second civil war in South Sudan, was when the president of Sudan decided that all of Sudan would be Muslim, including the majority of South Sudan. But that's the next part. And I know I'm like rambling a bit and like cutting a bits here and there, but it's like I'm trying to get my head around it to explain it in an easier and more understanding way to you. And I'm not the best at explaining things, I'm just gonna throw that out now. Anyway, so in 1821, Egypt under the Muhammad Ali dynasty, I know that is not the boxer, he was like the person in charge of Egypt at that time, invaded North Sudan, and that's where Muslims and Islams and everything blah blah blah. And then in 1827, Ali Khurshad Pasha led a force through the Dinka lands, invaded the Dinka, the people that are mostly protected from all the fights, and sailed the White Nile as far as Juba. So Juba is the capital city of South Sudan. Now, like independence. Like back then it wasn't called Juba, it was called something else. But that was basically the equivalent of Juba. It was Juba, but they've renamed them. Does that make sense? And Khartoum is the capital city of Sudan, or North Sudan, as same thing. I'm just gonna call North Sudan and South Sudan, so it's easier for you to understand. I'll insert an image over here where you will see what I mean, because it's just easier to explain with visual stuff. So the Egyptian forces attempted to set up forts in Juba, but disease and infection caused them to run away in little legs. And so while they claimed the place area was claimed by Egypt, they didn't have any real authority over that area or anything, because no one would listen to them because they weren't actually there because they ran away. But then in 1851, under the pressure of foreign powers, i.e. Britain, Egypt decided to open up that region, South Sudan, to the Western Europe. And so the Western Europe people came in and did what they normally do in those times. They found a lot of piles and a lot of ivory, and but then when they tried to sell stuff to the local Bari people, we were not interested in anything that they were selling. So they reverted to force. So they stole the ivory and were really brutal with the locals there. No surprise there. On to the civil wars. There was 2 civil wars in Sudan, and the first one happened in 1955, and it was because the people that started it wanted to have, representation and regional autonomy, so they can go where they want, do what they want. Do you know what I mean? And I personally don't understand, because I wasn't alive then, clearly, so I didn't understand the proper hardships of what was going on. But they happened a year before South Sudan achieved independence. But we had a second civil war, which happened in 1983, and this is what I was telling you about, when the president of Sudan, Gafar Nimri, I think his name is pronounced like that, declared all Sudan an Islamic state under Sharia law. That included the majority of the South Sudanese people, who are all mostly Catholics and Christians, same difference, really. But the South Sudanese autonomous region was abolished on June the 5th, 1983, ending the Addis Ababa Agreement. That also came after the first civil war. That's what they had agreed on. And so the people of South Sudan started a war to get their independence from this president that no one actually liked. And that lasted a long time. It's the world's largest civil war that's ever gone on for. But it ended in 2011, and South Sudan got their independence. Yay, we're free! However, it's still not really a safe place to be, but the very, very fast and brief and dumbed down version of my history lesson on my culture. So when we moved from there, I was staying in Khartoum, and we left it before we became independent, and I didn't really notice that much fighting, even though I stayed in the capital city because we stayed in Khartoum. I didn't notice that much fighting. I used to remember I went to a school across the road, and they made us read the Quran, and they made us, when I think about it, everything was very Muslim based, because we had lessons on Arabic, we got taught classical Arabic. Another thing, in Sudan, there's different kinds of Arabic, guys. There's classical Arabic, which is the written Arabic, and the Arabic that Egyptians and other people speak, like the one that's known worldwide. Then there's like, we call it Juba Arabic, and it's like commoner to Arabic. So like certain words don't mean the same as in classical Arabic. So if I make any references and you don't agree, in fact you can see that's my boyfriend in the background, so like ignore him. But if you don't understand what I'm saying, if I'm making any references, it's because I'm probably speaking Juba Arabic, so yeah. But I went to the school across the road from me, and we were taught the Quran, classical Arabic, religion, and like a bunch of maths and science and English and whatnot and stuff like that, and it was actually pretty fun. I actually liked my school, I made great friends. And then we left here, and when I came here I found it really hard to adjust to the different lifestyles, because Sudan is very much still a very conservative country. A very conservative country. I went back to visit a few years back, and I wore a pair of shorts, and I got destroyed essentially by everyone in the public. I was getting called I was insane, are you mentally unstable, is she a prostitute, why is she wearing shorts, blah 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 blah. Basically, if you wear anything that is over your knees, you are socially unacceptable, essentially. And I was still young, I was even 16, I was like 13 at that time, and like I am pretty small for my height, to be fair. So I could probably pass for a much younger person. Like, I don't even look my age now. I look like a hell of a lot younger on a good day, when I want to pass with like a child's bus ticket still. Anyway, I found it really hard to adjust, because here everyone just wore anything they wanted. Essentially, you could walk down the street and someone could be wearing short shorts, or a short skirt, or like, I don't know, like back home we were expected to wear long dresses, and when you looked out you saw a lot of women were encouraged to cover their hair, even if you weren't Muslim. Like, we're Catholic, we didn't need to cover our hair, but we were encouraged to and expected to. My uniform had us do it. It was in the uniform. We had to wear a white like head wrap over our hair, and you couldn't have your what do you call it, natural hair out. It's either you had to have it either braided down, I don't know why they did that, and then like they had checks. I remember at the end of school we used to walk in, and like every Friday they made us sit stand in like lines outside the classroom in the main like courtyard bit, and they'd go like this, and they'd check all your nails, they'd check your hair, check your breath, and if you weren't clean they'd slap your hand with the Madry like ruler thing, and then they made you go back home and like cut your hand and cut your fingernails, and like wash it, and like until you were hygienically acceptable before you're allowed back in the classroom. I don't know why, but they were really strict like that. And I came here and they did nothing like that at all, and I was like, wow, this place is completely new. I was so shocked. Like I couldn't speak to anyone for months. I was such a shy little creature. When I think about it, it's so funny, because right now, I'm like the most talkative person known to man. I can talk for hours, and I talk incredibly fast as well. But the first place we came to was Edinburgh. I don't really like Edinburgh that much, to be quite honest. It's just the people there in my school were just really like stuck uppish, and no one like tried to approach me, and I felt so isolated. And then I was just like, that was the first time I felt so insecure about myself. Cause I'm a very confident person in me and who I am as a person, but like when I first came here, it was just a knock to my confidence. It was completely different. It was a cultural shock. So my dad had a job. No, my dad was finishing his PhD at Heriot Watt, so we all came, spent 2 months in Edinburgh, then we moved to Cumbernauld, which is just near Glasgow. And we stayed there for a couple of years. I did most of my primary school there until P5. I started to gain my confidence back, but it was like the first time I had properly seen first time I've seen white people, because in Sudan we had like fair-skinned Africans, like Arabs, we called them. And that was like the closest thing I've seen to a white person. And then I came here and everyone around me was white, and I felt so isolated, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know anyone. I was like, oh my god, it's so weird. And I was the only black person in my class. I think there was like 2 black people in the school, not including my sister and my brother. My sister was in primary school, in the nursery school. My brother's 2 years younger than me, so he was like in P1 or P2, I can't actually mind. But I made friends, and then the further I went up and the older it got, like through the years, the more different people I saw. So I saw more Indians, more black people came, and I felt more comfortable. But at the same time, not, because like not many people knew about our cultures and the things that we did, and it was kind of embarrassing when I was younger to go in with a head bit or like in African clothing, because all the kids would be like, oh, what's she wearing? Ew, blah 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 blah, and it was so, I can't even describe it. It was completely different than anything I'd ever experienced before. I was like, so I kind of like started to like change the way I acted, the way I talked, the way I like thought, and the way I dressed to fit in with the kids at school, and just so I could be more accepted by them, I guess. Then we went back to Sudan in 2009, I think it was, for a few months, and we went to Khartoum again, to our old house, close to my grandma used to live. May her soul rest in peace. So we went there, went to visit her, because she was like really ill, and my dad and my parents missed home. So we went there, and like I'd forgotten all of Arabic, because I refused to speak at home. I refused. I was like, no, no, no. So I used to know classical Arabic, Juba Arabic, and like several different things. I was so like bilingual, and then like I was so embarrassed, and so I refused to talk, and I forgot so much of it. So I had to reteach myself everything. And let me tell you something, relearning classical Arabic is the hardest thing you will ever encounter. So I did not. I just ended up learning in Juba Arabic, and even then it was not the best. It was like broken at best. So went there, and I went to a private school. It was called 7 Days, and we were there 6 days a week, because Saturday, Sunday was holy day, and we didn't go to school for that day, but we were in school on Saturdays, and we were in school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But Saturday was a half day, and they were a lot more lenient, I guess. Like I didn't have to wear head things. It was, we still got taught Arabic, we still got taught the Quran and stuff, but it wasn't as Islamic based as my first school when I was there. I actually liked it a lot, because it was actually an English speaking school, because I had no understanding of Arabic properly enough to go to an Arabic school. So my parents paid for us to go to a private school where they spoke English, and I managed to learn Arabic there and understand, and I passed my Arabic exam, because the way the education works in Sudan is they you take exams at the end of every year from primary 1 until primary 12. That's like they joined like everything together. It's weird, but it all works out. And if you fail your exams, you fail the year, so you repeat the year. So I went in and I was in P4, I think, or P5, P6, P5, I think it was P5. I was in P5, and there was a 19-year-old that had failed so many classes, apparently because he was old and in my class. He was like probably like 10 years older than me, and he was in my class. Do you get what I mean? So like you have to do academically well to progress at the right time for you. So it was all about studying, and I thought we got all of homework here. Holy shit! In Sudan, it was like something completely else. Like every class, it's like if you didn't do your homework, they still had the use of the belt. They still have the use of the belt in Sudan. Even though it was abolished here, it was not abolished in Sudan. I will tell you that. So you'd go in, and if you didn't do your homework, you got belted. And the guys got it on their backside, and the girls got it in our hands. so grateful. So the things we used to do to get out of it, the pain. I remember I forgot to do one of my math homeworks because I was just so swamped with everything else and I knew I was going to be getting it. So me and my friend went behind the class, wet our hands, put like sand in our hands so that we wouldn't feel it as much. And then guys used to wear jeans upon jeans upon jeans and then like their school trousers over it, so that it was like the impact was like not too bad. But then some teachers were just really caught on quick. That's what we were doing, and made you like strip down all your jeans. And he knew when you were doing it, he knew. But yeah, and then like he'd go around asking about the homework questions, and if you got it wrong, you got 1. But if you didn't do your homework, you got like 10. So it was very, very strict, and it's probably why I'm doing so well, to be quite honest. That like 4 months has instilled me into making sure my ass studies for school because I don't want to fail. I don't want to be like that 19-year-old that was in a P5 class. Like, no, that's just like, it kind of, it was a good cultural shock. It was good going back to mine. Like, it taught me back. So when I came back here, I was more okay with just being myself and being happy with my culture and just expressing it more easier. And then I came back here in 2010, came straight to Glasgow, main Glasgow City Centre, and I went to school, and there were so many different like people from Africa, and I got on so well with them, and then we just like, it was so good because I could just like be myself without the judgment and the fear, and it was like great. So we went back the next year to get our nationality card and our passports because we got independent. Woo! But yeah. Oh, 2 minutes, I'm just fixing my legs. Oh my god, I've got a dead leg. I have got dead knees. Oh, my ankle, my ankle, my ankle. Right, okay. I'll probably cut this out. Oops. I'm just trying to think, what else can I tell you guys about how it was, but that's mostly it. I don't really know if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about. Just direct message me or at me at one of my social medias, like Twitter or something, and I will do a much more in-depth explanation. I will also post a much more in-depth one on my blog, which I haven't actually linked it before, but it's fine. I'll just like, I'll put it in somewhere, either in the description or in this video. But just if you want more information, just, or comment on this down below actually as well. If you want, I will answer the comments. We can have the discussion, and anyone else who is from an African country or is black and wants to share their stories and their experiences of their culture and moving here and their culture shock, just at me, and if you explain it to me, I can also feature it in a video. If you guys want different cultures, I can get my black friends to come and talk to you about theirs, because I have a lot now, and I'm so happy because I can just, different cultures are so interesting, and it's just, I love history, learning about them, and I thought you guys might like it too. So that is the end of that video, and I know it's really long. It was like 25 minutes long essentially, but I will try and cut it down. So if it isn't, I have succeeded. If it is, I am sorry, I have failed you. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below and follow my social medias. They're here and down, the links are down there, because I don't know how to do that thing where you click onto the actual pictures on the screen and it makes you to it. So the links are down there if you want to go follow me and talk to me, and yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye!